we've got Michael Irvin from NFL Network with us, the Pro Football Hall of Famer, the playmaker. And here are some questions that we put together for you, Mike, while we have you. In your opinion, and no one knows this better than you would, who do you think is the best wide receiver in this year's draft class?
I think this year the wide receiver class gives you different flavors. If you're asking me who's the best, I'm going to pull out probably Jamar Chase. But remember this now. We're in a different time, Greeny. We're in a different time. People are drafted for specific reasons. Last year, Henry Ruggs went first off the board, and I thought he was the fourth best receiver in the game. I thought CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, and certainly Justin Jefferson was better, but Ruggs and his speed went first. This year's different. You got speed in Devontae Smith, and I think a better football player. Devontae Smith reminds me a lot of a young Deshaun Jackson, who I would always say, you know, we look for track guys that can play football. These guys are football players that has track speed. And with the game being what it is now, Greeny, where you're throwing a lot of balls behind the line of scrimmage and then asking a guy to use that skill set like Tyreek Hill does, boy, that guy right there brings you a lot of value.
No question about it. A lot of people are comparing those three, the big three in this class, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and Devontae Smith, to your big three, which, by the way, I'll just pay you this compliment. It came up in our draft meeting the other day. The best wide receiver draft ever featured you, Sterling Sharp, and Tim Brown in the first round. Will that ever be topped?
And Greeny, listen, I've never heard anybody say that, Greeny. We go all around the board when we're talking about draft class, but I never heard anybody say that 88 draft class was the best. I believe you ought to be right, because there's no doubt Sterling Sharp would have a gold jacket had he not had that injury also. He was a beast, man. So I know they're talking about this class matching that class, but boy, there's a lot of steps between now and then, because Sterling Sharp and Tim Brown, those were two beasts. Y'all already know what I was. I ain't got to say that.
Humble as always, which we love. Talk about Bill Belichick trading up to get a quarterback in this draft. You buying it? Could you see him doing that?
Yes. Pressure. Everybody. Here's the deal. You have to do something just to calm everybody down, because Tom Brady went on and won a Super Bowl last year. So it would be interesting. But I'm going to tell you guys, it'll be interesting if they do it, because it's something he's never done. And I'm going to tell you this, though. I believe Bill Belichick will right that ship. I believe they could have had a good chance of sneaking in the playoffs last year if you know, they'd have had an offseason with Cam Newton, and certainly this year with that extra player, with that extra playoff team, I think they'll have a shot also.
All right, and then one last thing, and I got to give equal time to you here, because I asked Damien Woody this question, and he was hopelessly biased on one side. So here it comes. This is going to happen in the form of the Bengals this year at number 5. If you've got a young quarterback, and you have the choice between taking a great offensive lineman to protect him or a great receiver to give him that great weapon, and you have them graded similarly, who do you take?
Are you joking? Are you joking? Now, it is a tough question. It is a tough question. And when you're talking receiver, I don't know why Cincinnati's not talking about Kyle Pitts and that guy right there. That's a bad man. I would like to pair him with Kyle Pitts also. And they got T. Higgins from last year's draft. So absolutely, I would look at that pass catcher, that pass receiver. And then later on, try to find me an offensive lineman. Just like Bart Scott said the other day, that dude is one of one. B is one of one. If I can get a one-on-one dude, a one-of-one dude to Joe Burrow, I'm definitely going to give him that.
Damien Woody needs to jump
Woody.
back in
Don't
here.
Don't start that noise, Woody.
Hey.
Yeah, Damien, we can find big guys everywhere.
Come on, playmaker. Playmaker. Now, you know, Joe Burrow was on his back I don't know how many times last year. Do we want to see Joe Burrow on his back, or do we want to see Joe Burrow slinging that peel around to wide receivers? Come on now, you know better, especially playing down there in Big D with all them big horses y'all had down there. You know better, playmaker.
Yeah, but Damien, none of them were first-round draft picks. Nate Newton, Mark Tournay, Mark Stepnoski, none of them were first-round draft picks. It always blows my mind. Everybody else said, well, they had one of the best offensive line ever. None came in the first round. So that tells you something. But I came in the first round. You go get the guys that can be able to pull the ball down. We can find some big men. We got big men on every corner, 300-pounders everywhere. I tell my offensive linemen at my camps, I say, listen, I run the 3-second rule. It's 3 seconds. I need you. You 300 pounds, he 300 pounds. Stay in front of him for 3 seconds. Somebody will pay you $300 million. We can find fat men that can stay in front of fat men for 3 seconds. You can't find people snatching balls from between heaven and earth like Kyle Pitts and great receivers. I'm just saying.
You're the best. Michael Irvin again. NFL Network will be there next week with their coverage of the draft. Great to see you, Michael. Thank you.
I love you, Greeny. Great to see you too, my brother.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.